If you've ever felt like you were chasing someone around in loops, you're not alone. But here's a secret. The more you chase, the faster they run. That's why we're breaking the cycle today with ancient Stoic wisdom that will help you attract, not persuade. Welcome to the Stoic way of attracting people with your calm, magnetic energy. In this video, we'll talk about how embracing Stoicism can change the way you deal with relationships, whether you're trying to revive a dying romance, make a new connection, or keep in touch with an old friend. The key isn't to chase after them, but to become a symbol of strength and stability. Imagine being so rooted in your Stoic beliefs that people are naturally drawn to you, not because you're trying too hard, but because your serene confidence is contagious. Today, you'll learn how to embody this Stoic magnetism and make it work for you in any relationship. Now take a moment to declare with me, type it in the comments, let it hit you, and watch how people start to gravitate toward you. If you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on learning how to do it effortlessly. Charm. Okay, everyone. The first and most important thing you need to do to become a real magnet is to get rid of your fear. This is a game changer because when fear takes over, you lose control of your actions and end up so desperately looking for permission. When you're interested in someone new, your anxiety takes over and makes you worry that they might not feel the same way. As a result, you overanalyze every interaction, text them nonstop, and try too hard to impress them. During these times, you're not being yourself. Fear has taken over, and believe it or not, people can tell when you're desperate because it's like holding a bar of soap tighter makes it slip away faster. What happens when you let go of your fear? You become more relaxed and sure of yourself. More in control, you stop the chase. And amazingly, people begin gravitating towards you. Dropping fear transforms you into a Stoic magnet. You find completeness within yourself, and that's incredibly appealing. Now you might be thinking, that's easier said than done. True. Fear is tough to conquer, but remember, fear is all in your head. As Epictetus said, men are not disturbed by things but by the views they take of them. It's not situations that foster fear but our perceptions of them. So how do you actually let go of fear? Start by recognizing when fear sneaks up on you the next time you're anxious about someone leaving or trying to make someone stay. Pause. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Often it's rejection, loneliness, or feeling inadequate. These fears are just figments of your imagination. They only exist in your mind and don't need to control you. Let's consider a relationship scenario. Say your partner seems distant. Your gut reaction might be to double your efforts, shower them with attention, and do everything to keep them close, but that's all fear talking. If you let go of your fear and focused on your own growth and well-being instead of their approval, you'd stop chasing after them and start showing confidence and self-assurance, which is truly magnetic. Fear makes people needy, while letting go makes people confident. Imagine walking into a room full of people who are confident in themselves. When you let go, you show confidence and self-assurance instead of chasing approval, which is truly magnetic. Fear makes people needy, but letting go makes people confident. For example, when someone walks into a room with their head held high and their shoulders back, they naturally attract attention. On the other hand, someone who looks nervous and wants approval turns people away. When you let go of the fear of being rejected or failing, you gain confidence. That's the secret. When you stop needing their approval or validation, they start wanting your presence. It's funny, but the less you need someone, the more they want you. Remember that the Stoics taught us that we suffer more in our minds than in reality. Many of the fears you wrestle with are unlikely to come true. The worst things you dread rarely happen, so why waste time worrying about them? Letting go of your fears is the best way to create a magnetic aura because it takes away the need to prove your worth. Instead, you live confidently, drawing people to you who value what you bring to the table. Now let's end with a powerful affirmation. Close your eyes and tell the universe, I attract with my Stoic energy. Let go of the fears that are holding you back, and remember that you don't have to chase people. The right ones will come into your life because they see your strength, confidence, and tranquility. Let the universe know that you've let go of your fears, and now it's time for the world to reach out to you. If you have any questions or thoughts, please leave them in the comments. Let's talk about them, and if this video spoke to you, click the like button to show your support. Are you ready to go deeper? Let's go, my friends who are calm. The real adventure in our way to Stoicism has only just begun. Number 2. Give it your all, and then let it go. Now that we've gotten over our fears and started to embrace our inner magnet, there's one more important step we need to take. Give it your all and then let it be. This step is very important because it means putting your whole heart into your work without worrying about the things you can't change. Think about it this way. When you're trying to get someone's attention, whether you're in a relationship or just want to meet someone new, you put yourself out there and show all of your best traits. But here's where things get tricky. Fixating on whether they'll feel the same way about you will only cause you stress. It's like baking a cake and worrying that it won't turn out right while peeking inside the oven every few minutes. Even if you do everything right, you can't control how the cake bakes, and all that stress takes away from the fun. That's why it's important to do your best and then take a step back. Seneca famously said that the biggest thing that stops people from living is expecting things that won't happen. He meant that if you've already done the work and given it your all, there's no point in worrying or trying to change the result. You've already done everything you could. When you let go of the need for a certain result, you make room for things to happen naturally. This is where your magnetic power really shines. Imagine that you're trying to bring back the spark in your relationship. You've planned a special date to get back together, but there's a catch. The more you try to make the vibe, the fake it will feel. It seems like the more you try to be perfect, the more stress you put on your partner, which could make them want to leave you. Instead, focus on making the best plan you can. You can't change how someone feels, but you can change how you present yourself. This doesn't mean you don't care or try your hardest. Stoicism teaches us to be fully engaged and do our best in everything we do. Focusing on what you can control your actions then, instead of worrying about the results, you trust the process and let go of the need for things to happen a certain way. Think of it like planting a seed. You can water it, make sure it gets sunlight and care for it, but you can't force it to sprout. It will grow in its own time. The same goes for relationships, friendships, and other parts of life. Do everything you can to nurture it, then step back and let nature take its course. When you start to think this way, you'll start to notice changes. People will notice your calm, confident demeanor, and notice that you're not obsessively controlling every aspect and aren't desperately hoping for results. Instead, you'll be happy knowing that you've given it your all. This kind of vibe is captivating. People naturally like people who don't try to control every aspect of their lives. To make this a part of your daily life, start by reminding yourself every day that you can control your actions, but not their outcomes. Whenever you find yourself worrying about whether someone will answer your text, how a date might go, or whether someone will like you, just take a moment to remind yourself that you've given it your all and are now stepping back to focus on the journey rather than the destination. This might be hard at first because we're naturally worried about results, but the magic of Stoicism is that once you learn to let go of your grip after doing your best, you'll find peace. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. If you understand this, you will find strength. Your real strength is realizing that doing your best is enough, and you don't need to control what happens next. If you let go of the need to be perfect, you'll feel free again. Let's end with our statement. Say it with me again. I do my best, and leave it at that. Declare it loudly. Share it in the comments if you want to, and show everyone that you're not holding back because of what might happen. You're attractive when you're calmly doing your best and believing that everything will work out the way it's supposed to. Let's keep this attitude going and be ready for anything that comes our way. Number 3, value your time. If you don't value it, why should others? Your time is your most valuable asset, and once it's gone, it's gone. So ask yourself why waste it on people who don't see it. Think about the typical situation many of us find ourselves in. You're always on the phone, waiting anxiously for someone to text back, constantly adjusting your own schedule to fit with theirs, or even worse, you're just sitting there hoping they'll notice you. This isn't just wasting your time, it's basically wasting your life, giving it to someone who doesn't deserve or respect it. What if you used that valuable time to improve your own life? What if you used it to develop your talents, further your education, or deepen your passions? You would become a figure of Stoic magnetism by showing the world that your time is valuable and you aren't going to waste it on pointless pursuits. Allow me to use an example. Imagine that your time is a golden ticket to the most exclusive event of the year. Would you give that ticket to anyone? No. You'd only give it to people who truly value and appreciate its worth. When you start treating your time with the respect it deserves, it sends a strong message to others, compelling them to see its importance as well. Don't let your life be consumed by waiting for others to decide or notice you. Choose to live fully starting right now. People will start to notice and value your selective availability when you're not always available if you use your time well. People who want to be a part of your life have to work hard and be honest. So how do you start to treasure your time? Set clear limits. If someone is only interested in giving you short-term attention, don't let them into your life. Instead, focus on things that make you happy, help you grow, and give you a sense of fulfillment. People who really want to be in your life will respect these boundaries and put in the work to match your investment. If you find it hard to enforce these boundaries at first, remember that this process is about self-respect. You can't get other people's respect and attention if you don't respect yourself first. Allure. People are drawn to people who value their own time and aren't afraid to say no to requests that don't fit with their values. Let's say it again. I value my time. Join me, my silent friends, in saying it again. I value my time. Believe this and watch how the world changes to treat your time with care and importance, just like you do in number 4. Imagine yourself winning. You might be thinking, really just picturing success? That sounds too simple, doesn't it? But hold on, because this step is absolutely necessary to becoming irresistible. So why is this idea of picturing success so important? Well, imagine that you're about to go on a first date, a friendly chat with someone you find interesting, or a reunion with a partner who seems to be drifting apart. What first comes to your mind are doubts like, what if things don't go smoothly? What if they're not interested? What if I mess up? These thoughts are already clouding your mind, making you imagine the worst. The most important thing to remember is that your thoughts make you who you are. This isn't just motivational speech, it comes from Stoic thinking. Epiphanes said that we are what we think over and over again. If you keep picturing failing or being turned down, you'll be more likely to act from a place of fear and nervousness, which turns people off. But what if we change that? Instead of worrying about what could go wrong, picture yourself walking into that situation with confidence, speaking naturally, and being the best version of yourself. Picture them responding with smiles, engaging in the conversation, and genuinely enjoying your presence. Visualizing success isn't just a way to feel better. It sets the stage for your actions. Your mind and body tend to follow the path blazed by your thoughts. This may seem a bit unrealistic, but trust me, it works. Visualizing success prepares your mind for it to happen. You're less likely to get upset over small problems and more likely to handle things with ease. It's like practicing everything in your mind, so you're ready for the big moment. But let's be honest, it's not always easy, is it? Sometimes picturing yourself succeeding can feel like lying to yourself, especially if you're used to negative thinking or self-doubt. That's normal. So how do you make visualization really work when it's hard? Here's a simple tip. Take it easy at first if the thought of being overwhelmed by everything going perfectly. You only focus on one small thing at a time. For example, picture yourself going into the room with confidence or hearing laughter during a lively conversation. Start with these small things and work your way up. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. You're basically telling your brain to be ready for success instead of failure. This is where things get interesting. The universe really does respond to the vibes you send out. When you imagine yourself succeeding, you start to radiate confidence. You stop trying too hard to please others and start to attract them with your calm and sure energy. That's what it means to be a true magnet. Think about the last time you met someone who seemed confident without being cocky. They were just naturally calm and collected, and everyone was drawn to them. That's the power of visualizing success and actually achieving it. You're not looking for other people to validate you because you've already done that in your mind. You've imagined it, felt it, and now you're living it. This principle also applies to your relationships. If you picture yourself succeeding, you're more likely to act in ways that help you win in real life. Let's connect this to Stoicism for a second. Marcus Aurelius said that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Visualizing success will help you think more positively, which will then affect your actions. You'll find that your emotions become more balanced, and you stop acting out of fear or desperation. Instead, you'll act from a place of calm confidence, which is truly magnetic. To solidify this mindset, let's say it together. I attract with my Stoic energy. Say it with conviction, and picture yourself as that calm magnetic force that naturally pulls others in. Let's shout it out and let the universe know that you're done doubting yourself. You see your success, you feel it, and you're ready to live it. Take control of your emotions. If your feelings get the best of you, you'll likely lose your cool, and people will notice. This lack of control often turns people off instead of attracting them. On the other hand, if you can keep your emotions in check, you give off an aura of strength, calmness, and confidence. These are the qualities that naturally draw people to you, making you the center of attention in any room. Think about how relationships can bring out a lot of different emotions like jealousy when you see that unread message. It's normal to feel these emotions, like anger or frustration when plans don't go as planned, or worry about someone not caring about you. But if you don't control them, they can make you act in ways that push people away instead of bringing them closer. Giving in to every emotional urge can make your interactions more tense than calm. Think about how you could handle this differently when you start to feel overwhelmed by emotions instead of letting them control how you react. You take a moment to pause. This pause is strong. You feel a lot of emotions, but you choose not to let them control you. The calm way is to take a deep breath, recognize how you're feeling, and then let those emotions go without doing anything. By being the calm in the storm, you attract people who admire and desire stability in the unpredictable waves of life. Seneca's words really hit home here. He who is brave is free. True bravery isn't about not having any emotions. It's about controlling them wisely. This kind of bravery frees you from the chaos of being pushed and pulled by outside circumstances all the time. You become a solid rock that isn't moved by the ups and downs of daily struggle. Here are some ways to start practicing this in your everyday life. Practice mindfulness every time you feel an emotion coming on. Don't act right away. Instead, stop and think, is this emotion worth upsetting my peace? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Not only is stopping and thinking about things a way to avoid bad things happening, it's also a way to build a habit, like a muscle that gets stronger with use. If you find this hard, don't give up. Like any other skill, emotional control gets better with practice. Every time you control an emotional urge, you make it easier to stay calm. Under pressure. Remember that people aren't just interested in how you look or how smart you are. Emotional intelligence and the ability to keep your cool under pressure are also attractive. Let's say this idea over and over. I master my emotions. Say it with me, my Stoic friends. I master my emotions. By mastering this, you're not only making yourself more approachable, you're also earning respect and admiration. This practice changes more than just your relationships, but the way you live your life in general makes you a real magnet for good interactions and real bonds. Number 6. Develop a detachment attitude. This is a very important step that is often misunderstood. Being detachment doesn't mean ignoring other people's feelings or the importance of what's going on around you. It means cutting the ties that hold your happiness to outside circumstances. Think about how often our moods and daily happiness depend on how other people react or behave, or on the outcomes of situations we find ourselves in. When you care deeply about someone's approval or a certain outcome, you tie your emotional health to something you can't control, which can make you feel anxious, stressed, and desperate. Think about all the times you've been glued to your phone, hoping for an answer that might never come or for something good to happen. Being expected all the time is tiring, and to be honest, it makes you less attractive. It's the essence of chasing instead of attracting. But when you adopt detachment, you change this dynamic. You don't become cold or uncaring. You just stop letting your peace of mind depend on how other people react to you or how things go. As an example, let's say you're a gardener planting seeds. You do everything right. You prepare the soil, plant the seeds at the right depth, water them, and make sure they get enough sunlight. But then you have to let nature take over. It wouldn't make sense to worry about each seed's growth all the time. Instead, you trust the process, knowing you did your part well, and then you distance yourself from the outcome. This is what the Stoic view of detachment is all about. You put in time and effort, but you don't get attached to specific outcomes. Epictetus, one of the most important figures in Stoic philosophy, said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This reminds us that even though we can plan and act, we can't always control what will happen. Adopting this form of detachment frees you from emotional turmoil and lets you stay calm and collected no matter what. This stability is very attractive, and people are drawn to you because they sense your independence and self-confidence. So how do you start to embrace this life-changing practice? Start by focusing on what you're doing and how hard you're working, rather than worrying too much about the outcome. Give your jobs your full attention. Deeply connect with the people in your life, but don't hold on to the results. Whether or not people like you doesn't change your worth or your path. You are complete and admirable with or without their approval. Let's affirm this shift in attitude together. I am detached. Say it out loud and proud, my Stoic friends. Let the universe know that you are not after anyone or anything. You are just attracting good into your life by being calm and centered. Practice detachment and watch how people are drawn to you when they see that you are not relying on their praise or presence. Number 7. Have a grateful attitude. You may be wondering how being thankful can make me more appealing to other people. By focusing on what you already have instead of what you want, gratitude really changes the way you feel. Imagine being at a party with someone who constantly complains about everything they're missing, which is as tiring as listening to someone complain about bad music over and over again, or with someone who celebrates the present, enjoys the company, and enjoys the atmosphere. The person who practices gratitude spreads a joy that's truly contagious. Imagine trying to catch someone's attention, and instead of worrying about whether they notice you, you focus on valuing the people in your life, cherishing joyful moments, and seizing the opportunities that come your way. This shift means you're no longer seeking approval because you're already satisfied by the gratitude in your heart, and guess what? That's when you become truly noticeable. Seneca, a wise Stoic philosopher, once said that the only way to be truly happy is to enjoy the present without worrying about what might happen in the future. Being grateful helps you enjoy the present moment because you stop worrying about problems that might happen or people who might leave you. You adopt an abundance mindset, which is very appealing. So how can you start incorporating gratitude into your daily life? Start with small steps. Every day, take a moment to think of 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small they may seem. As the days go by, you'll notice a big change in your outlook. You'll feel happier, more peaceful, and more connected to the good energy around you. If it feels hard at first, remember that gratitude gets stronger with practice, just like a muscle. Let's say it together. I am grateful. Embrace the process. Okay, everyone in the Stoic community, we've gone over all the important steps. Now that we've reached the end of our journey, take a moment to really think about what we've talked about. This is where all of our discussions come together to make something truly powerful. You now have the tools, the strategies, and the right mindset to make these things a part of who you are. Think of it like making a delicious meal. You wouldn't rush to serve it right away, would you? You'd let it rest so the flavors could blend beautifully. That's what we're doing here. Become a Stoic magnet doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. But trust me when I say that, as you let these lessons and insights soak into your being, people will start to notice. They'll see the change, and you won't have to try to convince or pursue them anymore. Instead, people will be drawn to the serene assurance. Your aura makes me think of what Epictetus said. No great thing is created suddenly. As a majestic tree needs time to spread its roots and branches, so does your path to becoming a Stoic magnet. You've worked hard to let go of your fears, value your time, and keep your thoughts in check. Now let these changes become a part of your daily life. So what if you make a mistake or find yourself acting in ways you used to? That's okay. We're all human. It's important to catch these slips after all, recognize them, and lead yourself back using the rules you've learned. Every time you do this, you strengthen these powerful Stoic practices. So how can you really let it all sink in? Patience is key. You've planted the seeds of self-worth, confidence, and emotional mastery. Give them time to grow and spread. Every day, remind yourself of the steps you've taken and have faith in the process. Over time, you'll see a change in how others see you and how you see yourself. Let's say this together as we end our trip. My Stoic attitude draws people to me. Declare it loudly, believe in it deeply, and watch as the world reflects your newfound strength. You've learned about the Stoic way of life. Remember what it means to truly attract, not chase. By embodying the calm, magnetic energy we've talked about, you become a beacon of stability and confidence that draws others to you. It's about letting go of your fears, accepting your own worth, and creating a serene presence that others naturally gravitate to. Thank you for joining me on this transformative journey. If this video has changed your mind or moved you in any way, please hit the like button and subscribe for more amazing videos. Make sure you turn on notifications to stay up to date on our newest posts. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you seen changes in your relationships since you started following Stoic principles? How has the idea of drawing instead of chasing changed the way you talk to people? Leave your thoughts below, and let's keep talking about this interesting topic. Please rate this video on a scale from 1 to 5, with 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. Also, don't leave just yet. Check out the suggested videos on the screen for more ideas and useful ways to improve your life with Stoicism. Learn more about the art of living well and how you can improve how you deal with everyday problems. Remember that you are always on the way to becoming a Stoic magnet, and that every step you take is a step toward a more centered, confident you. Keep going, keep reflecting, and let your Stoic energy shine through until we talk again. Until then, keep attracting with grace and wisdom,